This is part 12 of Angularjs tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss how to filter by multiple properties. This is continuation to part 11, so please watch part 11 before proceeding. So here is what we want to do. Notice we have two search text boxes here. The search name text box is going to search only the name property, whereas search city is going to search only the city property. When we check this box exact match, the search is going to be an exact match. So what is an exact match search? Now for example, if you take search name text box here, when we type letter B, so obviously here we have letter B in the name, so this item will be displayed immediately. Now when we check this checkbox exact match, when we type letter B, we don't have any name that exactly matches with letter B, right? So when we type the complete name, Ben for example, then we have an exact match with the name. At that point this row will be displayed. So let's see how to achieve this. Let's flip to Visual Studio. So this is the same example that we worked with in the previous video session. Notice here we have set myModule of the search text box to search text.name, and we are using that search text here with the filter. Okay, so now this is going to search only in the name column. So when I type letter B, notice that employee Ben's record is displayed. Okay, now we want, let's say for example, to search by city. Then what I can do is simply change this property here to city, and when we reload this view, now whatever we type here is going to be searched across the city property. So when I type L, look at that, city matches with London, so we have the rows with city as London displayed. Now what we want to do is this one. We want multiple search text boxes, one to search across name property, the other one to search across city property, and we also want an exact match search. So let's see how to achieve this. So here let's change this back to name, and just to keep it a little meaningful, instead of saying search employees, I'm going to call this search name, and I'm going to make a copy of this. And let's get rid of this search literal text here, and let's change this here to city, and the placeholder is going to say search city. So now we should have search name and search city text boxes, and look at this. As I type name, it searches the name property. Similarly, as I type the city here, it searches the city property and displays the matching elements. Alright, now let's implement exact match. For that we need a checkbox. So input type equals checkbox, and I'm going to set the myModule directive on this one, and that is going to be equal to, we can give it any name that we want. I'm going to call it exact match, and this is going to be a Boolean property which will be automatically attached to the scope object. If the checkbox is checked, then the value in that property will be true, otherwise false. And we can use this model property with our filter. So this is the property to which we want to search. We have this search text here, and now this text box is going to search across name property, this text box is going to search across city property, and to that I'm also going to apply this Boolean value from this property of the scope object, exact match. So if that is true, then exact match is turned on, otherwise it's turned off. So let's specify the text here for the checkbox as exact match. Let's save the changes, and let's reload this page. Now look at this. When I type letter B, we have that row displayed because name here matches B, but that's not an exact match. Name contains letter B, so that is displayed. Now look at this. When I check this checkbox, it's gone because that's not an exact match. Now when I type BEN, look at that, it shows up. Now since I have this exact match checked, if I type L here, look at that, it vanishes because in the city we don't have an exact match for letter L. But when I complete typing London, the row shows up. Okay. Now let's look at another example. So here the example is we have multiple search text boxes. Each search text box is searching a specific property. Now if you have a single search text box, searching across all properties is very easy. All you do is just remove these properties right here, .name, .city, and let's get rid of this exact match. So now let's change the placeholder to employees, because we are going to search across all properties of the employees. And since we don't have that exact match model property anymore, I'm going to remove that. Okay, now we are using this as our model, and we're using that as the value for the filter. Now by default, this is going to search across all properties, right? So if I type, for example, F, look at that, we have that in gender, so those two rows show up. Similarly, if I type letter S, that's present in name, and if I type 68, that's present in salary. Letter C is present in city. So now a single text box is able to search across all properties. Okay, that's easy as well. Now we'll have to write some custom code if we have to search across selected properties. Let's say, for example, I want a single search text box, and I want that search text box to search, for example, only the name and city properties. If we have to do that, then one of the options is to write a custom function which is capable of doing that. Let's see how to achieve that. So here is what we want to do. We want to have a search text box which is going to search city and name properties. So let's see how to do this. So the first thing is, this is going to say search city and name, and the model is going to be search text. And what I'm going to do is, within our controller function, to the scope object, I'm going to attach a function, and I'm going to call it search. This is going to be the function, and to this we will pass the item that we want to search. And here I'm going to check. Now, if you look at the search text box, the property that we are attaching to the scope object is search text. So I'm going to take that and check it right here. So if $scope dot search text, if that is equal to undefined, that means we haven't typed anything into this text box. Let's actually go ahead and reload. Let's save this and reload this page. Okay, so if we didn't type anything into this text box, then obviously this search text will be undefined on the scope object. So if it is undefined, what I'm going to do is return true. So what is this function going to do? This function will be called for every element within the array. If this function returns true, then that element, for which this function has returned true, that will be displayed on the page. Otherwise, it will not be displayed on the page. Okay, so if you want the element, to be displayed on the page, then you have to return true from this function. So if we haven't typed anything within the search text box, then we still want to display every row. So that's the reason why we are returning true, if it's undefined. Else, if it's not undefined, then that means we have got something within the search text box. So what do we want to do? We want to take that value, whatever the user has typed into the text box, and search across name and city columns, right? So how are we going to get access to the name and city columns? Well, we have this item object that is passed to the function. So what I'm going to do here is if item dot name, and I'm going to convert that to lowercase because I don't want the search to be case sensitive. So if item.name dot to lowercase dot, I'm going to use the index of function, and then here I'm going to specify the search text, whatever we have typed into the text box, and I'm going to convert that to lowercase as well. So if that is not equal to -1, if the index of the search text is not equal to -1, then that means we have a match found. So what do we want to do? We want to return true. Alright, if none of these conditions match, then finally it's going to come here and return false. That means the user has typed into the search text box something, and that whatever the user has typed, it didn't match with this name property, so it comes here and returns false, meaning we don't want that item to be displayed in the search result. Okay, now here we are only searching for the name property. If you want to search for city, just copy this and change the property name to city. So I'm going to use the or condition there and change the name of the property here to city. Alright, so let's save the changes. The name of the function is search, and I'm going to specify this function call as the value for our filter. So this will be called for every item in the array, and whatever item returns true from that function, that will be displayed on the page. So let's save all these changes and reload our page. Look at this. When I type letter B, that's present in the name property, so that shows up. If I type letter L, that is present in city, so that shows up. If I type letter M, again that's present in name, so it shows up. Let's type, for example, F. So F is not present in name or city, so nothing matches and no row shows up. So you can include as many properties as you want in this function right here. Thank you for listening and have a great day.